The early morning sun had barely touched the skyline when the news began to spread. Something had happened to Mark Consuelos. Fans across the world woke up to a wave of concern and confusion as whispers turned into headlines. But for Kelly Ripa, the woman who had stood by Mark's side through decades of laughter, love, and life, this wasn't a story. It was a moment that changed everything. It all began on what was supposed to be a normal day. Kelly had just finished her morning routine before heading to the studio for Live with Kelly&Mark. But her phone rang, a call that froze her heart. Mark had been rushed to the hospital. Within minutes, Kelly was in her car, racing through New York traffic, her hands trembling on the steering wheel as she whispered, "Please not him. Not today." When she arrived, the sight broke her completely. Mark, the strong and energetic man everyone adored, lay in a hospital bed surrounded by doctors and blinking monitors. The ICU was cold and quiet, except for the steady hum of machines, a haunting rhythm that made every second feel eternal. Kelly stood by his bedside, tears streaming down her face, clutching his hand like it was the only thing keeping her grounded. "Mark," she whispered softly, her voice cracking, "you promised me forever." Mark opened his eyes weakly, managing a faint smile. Even in pain, his first words were for her. "Forever still means you, Kel?" he said, squeezing her fingers. "I'm not going anywhere." In that fragile moment, surrounded by the sterile glow of hospital lights, Kelly made a silent promise, one that would shock everyone later when she shared it. She vowed that if Mark made it through this, she would step away from the spotlight for a while to cherish every single day with him. Fame, cameras, applause, none of it mattered compared to the life they had built together. Hours turned into days, and Kelly stayed by his side through it all. She refused to leave, sleeping in a chair beside his bed, holding his hand even when he was too weak to respond. Nurses quietly admired her strength, but only Kelly knew the storm that raged inside her. Every beep of the monitor, every movement of his chest, it all reminded her how fragile life could be. Then, one evening, as the world outside continued its usual rhythm, Mark finally opened his eyes with more strength. He looked at her and whispered, "You kept your promise, didn't you?" Kelly smiled through her tears. "Always." When Mark was finally stable, Kelly spoke publicly for the first time about what happened. Her voice shook, but her message was clear. Life is short. Love harder. Forgive faster, and never take a single moment for granted. She shared the promise she had made, that she would slow down, live in the moment, and make their time together sacred. Fans were stunned. The idea that Kelly Ripa, one of television's most beloved figures, would consider stepping back for love left millions in tears. But those who truly knew her weren't surprised. They knew that behind the glamour and the laughter was a woman whose heart always led the way. Now, as Mark continues his recovery, the couple has become a living reminder of resilience and devotion. Every photo, every small public appearance carries a deeper meaning, proof that love can survive even the darkest nights. Kelly still tears up when she talks about that day in the ICU. She says, "It changed everything." Sometimes it takes almost losing what you love most to realize what truly matters. And for Kelly Ripa and Mark Consuelos, that realization became their promise, a promise that no camera could capture and no audience could forget. Mert?